Welcome everyone, good morning. So we start every class with a salute. So the first thing we're gonna do is make a fist with our right hand, roll the fingers in nice and tight, and then tuck the thumb over the first two. Our goal is to make a nice martial arts fist with a flat surface here. We bring all the fingers together on that left hand and then bring them both together as a sign of honor before we start class. All right, so we're gonna start today just getting warmed up a little bit, getting those joints moving. The first thing we're gonna do is start feet, shoulders width apart. Make sure you look down, that your feet are perfectly straight. We really wanna train our bodies that this is normal. This gives us the best alignment so that blood and energy can flow through our body freely. Now, as we're here, check in on your lower back. Is it relaxed down? So when we're standing here, if we lock out our knees, we get this arch in the back. We want to bend them slightly. Now, not too much, but just enough that we can tuck that tailbone down while we lift through the crown of our head. All right, this is that great alignment we're going for. Now, we're just going to do some simple warm-ups today, starting with the chin to the chest and looking up. Move at your own pace. I want you to become aware of your breath. So as you lift your chin up, don't go too far that your kind of breath becomes strained. All right, two more, up and down. And on that last one, we'll come down and then we'll go back to neutral. So a nice stretch through the neck and then back to neutral. All right, warming up through the shoulders. We use a lot of shoulders in Tai Chi. You can do small circles, alternating. You could bring them together. You could do giant arm circles. Move in a way that you feel your shoulders are opening. You're feeling the movement come through the shoulder blades. And we're just getting things flowing. And then we'll go the other direction. So again, alternating together, giant circles. Again, it's really what feels good for your body. Now, a lot of us round from all of that looking at a screen. So we're gonna take a roll back, maybe two, and then shake the arms down. Just let them go. Okay, now from here, we're gonna swing from our middle body. So we're gonna let our arms go freely, just warming up. Remember to keep that length through the spine and really feel that your torso is leading this movement. So the faster you spin your torso, the faster the arms move. If we slow it down, we're slowing down the arms. But we're just getting that spine moving, releasing tension through the upper body, and just feeling some flow. We're ready for our practice today. Beautiful. Now we're going to slowly ease off. So that means we slow down from the middle body and we just ease off so we're not turning as far until we finally come back. And then shake it down so that we find neutral. All right, stepping a little bit wider, we're gonna warm up our hips a little bit before we get going. So you can place your hands on your hips, you could bring the palms to the lower back, or you could just let the arms be hanging down. We're just gonna circle from side to side, just warming up the hips. Nice big circle here. Really feel the tendons and ligaments open as you push from side to side. Feel the weight shift in your feet. And then we'll go the other direction. Just getting all of that energy moving through our bodies, never knowing where we were before we started our practice today. So just giving ourselves a few minutes to get warmed up. All right, coming back to center. One more section here. We're gonna bring those knees and feet together and just circle a little bit. So just a small circle with those knees. We'll do a few one direction and then we'll go the other way. So again, feel that weight moving in your feet and then we'll go the other direction. Warming up the knees and the ankles and then release. Coming back up, maybe shake out the arms again, get that energy flowing down. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, remembering it's a new year, we're gonna start with the basics. So the first thing we wanna talk about is our palm shape. Our palm shape in Tai Chi is always going to be the same. So we want little gaps between our fingers. We don't wanna expand it too much. We don't wanna have it too crumbly. It's like you're gently opening each joint. So if we held both palms up, you wanna feel like you have a ball between your palms. So you have this rounded shape here, okay? This is what we're going for. If you can, we want to think about opening this area that we call the tiger's mouth. This point right here, if you press one finger on this side and the finger on the other side, is actually a headache point. So this can really release tension in the body if you give yourself a little massage here in the hand, and it'll also help open this joint as well, okay? So our goal in Tai Chi is to get that energy flowing through our whole body so that we feel our best, and it ends in the hands and fingers. So we always talk about drawing through the leg, the waist, and out to the arms, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is come back into what we call prepare or our natural stance. So looking down at your feet, shoulders width apart. Again, perfectly straight so that our knees are in line. So check in, the knees don't turn in so that the weight's on the arches. We really want your weight centered on your feet. So maybe you take a second and you kind of shimmy from side to side and you really feel that connection here. Check in on your lower back. Remember, our goal is to have length through our whole spine from the crown of your head all the way down through your tailbone. The next thing we're going to talk about is the underarms. So from here, avoiding this collapse and this blockage of energy, open up like you have a little piece of fruit underneath your arms. Fingertips are going to brush the sides of your thighs. And the first thing we're going to do is what we call like water's weight. So we're going to rotate our palms so that they face back as we start lifting the arms up. And we're going to bring them up to shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Now I'm going to turn so you can see for a moment. See how we're reaching out, not too straight zombie arm, but not too limp. Reach out slightly. And now we're going to go upper arms, and then the forearms, and the palms are going to come sit down in front of your hips with your fingertips pointing forward. Then we're going to do it again. So we're going to lift up and then float down. All right, with our breath, we're going to inhale and lift our arms up. Exhale and press down. Now we're going to add our legs. So full Tai Chi movement, standing up and now sinking down as you push the hands to the hips. So how low you go is up to you. Following your own breath, stand up and then sink down. Our goal is to coordinate the upper and lower halves of our body. We want to feel like we're moving through water. So it's a wave of energy moving from the legs through the spine and out to the fingertips. Move at your own pace. So maybe you close your eyes. You turn that focus inward, feeling the breath move through the body, feeling the upper lungs, the lower lungs, and the belly. And we're allowing our mind, our body, and our breath to move as one. Beautiful. Moving at your own pace. Just feel that flow. Our goal is to feel light and airy through the upper body. And we want to feel strong and heavy through the legs. So much of what we get out of Tai Chi for balance comes from strengthening our legs. The relaxation comes from connecting our mind to the movement. And we're relaxing the upper body. So we're releasing any tension we might have through the shoulders. We're just trying to feel that flow. Let's do a couple of more rounds, really letting go through that upper body. Release. One or two more, depending on the rate you're moving at. And when we sink down on that last one, the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to stand up And then we're going to return to that original position, just bringing those arms to the side. Okay, shake it out, let it go, okay? Sometimes when we're first learning Tai Chi, it's so much with our arms up in the air. We want to take a moment and really shake them out and try to let go. Our goal is to just feel light and airy through those arms. Yes, that swinging motion is a really great thing to do as well. So from here, we're actually going to do another exercise called looking up at the moon. So we always start in prepare for that natural position that we want to make natural, I should say. Now from here, this time we're going to rotate our palms so they face the sky. And then we're going to bring the arms overhead. Now, when you bring the arms overhead, I want you to keep the shoulders down. So even if the arms are wider, that means you're not doing this. We're relaxed. That's what we're looking for. From here, we're going to bend at the elbows so the fingertips point together. And then we're going to press down the front of the body to the hips again. So we're going to repeat that. So we drop our fingertips down. We rotate the whole arm so the palms face the sky. And then the palms face together overhead. Bend at the elbows, pressing down the front of the body, all the way to the hips. So again, this one, inhale, we can even look up. Exhale, pressing down. So the goal is to keep the arms and the breath connected. Now we're going to add the legs. So we're standing up on the first one. And then we sink down on the exhale. So how low you go is up to you. Standing up. And then sinking down, maybe just a little bit. You really have to slow down the legs. So we have a big arm circle. Now we have to move with our small leg movement. So again, letting go, maybe you turn that focus inward so that you're just listening to your own breath and moving at your own pace. And try to find that lightness through the arms. So just floating up and reaching towards the sky, and then settling down to the earth and just relaxing through the arms. We'll do a couple more rounds. Now this one's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to combine it with the first one. So we're going to do a half a circle as we stand up, and we're going to bring the arms to shoulder height and shoulder width apart with the palms facing down. Then we're going to do the first one, upper arms, forearms, and palms sink down to the hips. And then we return to that original position. All right, shake it out for a second, swing the arms or toss the shoulders down, keeping that energy flowing. And then release, come back, ease off. And I want everyone to grab a chair. All right, we can do this standing if you don't have a chair, but if you have a chair, preferably without wheels, we will use that. All right. So we're going to work on our spine. So one of the great things about Tai Chi is how much energy we get moving through our body. Now, one thing to know, when you sit in your chair, I'm going to sit on the side of it for a moment. Sit towards that front edge, okay? So your feet are connected to the ground. All right, this is the goal. We want to feel that both of our sit bones are connected to that chair evenly. So it's the same concept as standing. We're going to lift through the crown of our head and feel that connection through the sit bones so that we have that space through our vertebrae. We're trying to bring that nice movement through our spine. We're going to start with our upper body shape. So I'm going to show you first. We're going to bring our arms up. Now in this position, remember that hand shape. So you have little gaps between your fingers. It's extended but relaxed. When we're here, don't bring the fingertips together. Have them relaxed so your shoulders are where they belong, essentially. The next thing is a lot of the times we'll see this, where we lift the arms up and we're trying to bring our elbows kind of level. We want to think about relaxing our shoulders and our elbows down. This allows the energy to go to the center of your body. So you'll notice if you go like this, your breath might become short and be stuck in your upper chest. When we relax the arms down, we can breathe all the way down to the center. Now, the one more thing to note if I turn is we don't want to have our chest open. We want to think about opening up through the shoulder blades, okay? So we're extending through this part of the back, finding that space in our spine. So this is the shape we're going to have throughout our waist training practice or our spine practice, okay? So relax the arms. This is a portion where we really need to take a second and try to find the lightness, even though we have our arms up throughout this entire little portion of our practice today, okay? So we're going to start just by turning from corner to corner like we did with our arms swinging. So that means that you are in the center of your own square and you're going to turn 45 degrees. Now, when you turn, keep that weight even on your sit bones and then come back to center and then go 45 degrees again. So where are we turning from? That middle lower back area. We're warming up what they call the gateway to life. This is the true center of your body. We're allowing ourselves to relax through the arms. And I invite you to check in on your breath. If your breath has become strained or shortened, that's going to tell us a lot about our upper body. Are the arms up? Do we need to relax down a little bit more? And we're just feeling this flow. Now you can move at whatever pace feels good. But I want you to feel your sit bones connected to your chair. I want you to feel that this movement is coming from your spine. So when we're practicing with our stance work and we're turning our spine, it's the same thing while we're standing so that we have proper alignment through our legs. We're healing our joints. And we're getting that energy flowing from our feet all the way through to the crown of our head, out to our fingertips, and release. Come back to center, throw the arms down. Release that energy, relax it out. Okay, maybe roll the shoulders. I want you to really feel relaxed through this. So whatever you need to do, take 2 more breaths, maybe toss them down. Okay. So now we're going to do another variation. This variation is a little bit harder to kind of manipulate our spine. If you've ever seen anyone do the worm on the ground, that's similar to what we're doing. So we're trying to create a circular motion in our spine by lifting our chest up and kind of rolling back. And we have this the other direction, okay? So we lift and then we roll this way. So it's like a circle going this way through your spine or this way, okay? In the beginning, it might just feel like a lift and a close, okay? That's still getting you in that direction to bring that movement back to your spine so that you're feeling your best. So I just want you to kind of connect with this forward and back movement. This is actually what we are using when we did that first exercise of like water's wave. So we're going to bring our arms back up into what we call a hug a tree position. It should feel like you've got your arms around the biggest tree ever. Check in, shoulders and elbows are relaxed down. All right, taking a moment, think about lifting your chest up, coming back and rounding. So if I exaggerate, lifting and rounding. So it's a spine movement this way, okay? Now, feel how the weight changes on your sit bones, and then we just want to kind of ease off and have a little circular movement. So we're just kind of circling back And it's this vertical kind of circle. So you're like reaching out and then coming back. And we're just gaining all of this movement through our spine again. Okay. And now we'll go the other direction. So you come back and you're going to move forward and then back. Okay. So you kind of come up, forward, and back. And we're just feeling this beautiful movement through our spine. We're feeling that our sit bones are fixed and that this whole thing is coming through the spine, and we can relax our upper body. Okay, release. Throw those arms down. Remember, that one's one of the harder ones to really kind of grasp the concept on. Okay, now we're going to do what we call is mixed. So we have this kind of figure eight. So we're literally going to be doing a figure eight with our body, one direction and then the other. Okay, so first, before we do that, I want you to just kind of move with me diagonal. Okay, so we're going to bring our arms back up. We're going to turn a little bit. And I just want you to feel this diagonal kind of movement, side to side. Okay, so feel that the torso is moving one way and then come to center. And we can do this in the center, side to side, kind of exaggerating. You'll really feel it this way. Okay, really. But when we do this, don't go so far that the weight's pouring over. Okay, so just little movements, and now turn and then go diagonal this way. Okay, so we have turning. We have a horizontal movement. So if we come back to center, horizontal, left and right. Okay, we just did that vertical. All right, release. Okay, so now we did our three styles. We have our corner, we have our vertical, we have our horizontal. Now with our figure eight, we're going to combine it all. So bringing those arms back up, we're going to go to one corner, we're going to turn and rotate. So we're doing a figure eight. So if I exaggerate, okay, figure eight, big movements, okay? Now when we do it, keeping our hips fixed, it's going to be a smaller movement. It's not going to be as noticeable. Even when we do the forms or our Tai Chi practice, it's not going to be as much as it is right now. Okay, we'll do one or two more. And now we're going to go the other direction. So come back, and then we're going to go the other way. So one direction is going to feel really good, probably the direction that you started. And then this other direction is going to feel a little bit different. Okay, so we want to just feel that big circle, big. And again, don't go too much that you feel that weight on one sit bone and not the other. Okay, let's do a couple more. And then come back and release. Okay, shake it out. Great job. Okay, our spine should be feeling nice and warmed up now. So let's stand up. Let's get those chairs out of the way. Okay. Now that we've got our hand shape, we've got our body shape, let's just take a second, okay? Find that neutral position and just swing. Just let go for a second, fully just feeling your body moving. Feel that flow, that relaxation through the upper body. Your spine is nice and juicy now. So how does this feel compared to when we first started class? Does it feel a little bit easier to move? Is your breath a little bit more even though we're turning? And then we'll slowly ease off. All right, so coming back to center and then release. All right, the next portion. So many of us are here for balance, right? So that balance comes from our footwork. So we're going to start, it's a new year. We're going to start with the basics right with that bow stance, okay? So our bow stance is the most widely used stance throughout any Tai Chi form that you're going to practice, okay? We start shoulders width apart. Now I'm going to mirror you throughout this portion to make it a little bit easier. So the first thing you're going to do is shift your weight to your left leg. Now this allows you to rotate on that right heel 45 degrees. So I want you to look down. This is 45 degrees, or what we call corner direction. Remember, this means you're in your own personal little square, okay? When we sink down now, I want you to think about keeping your knee in line. So don't sink too far that your knee goes in, okay? Sink in, and you're gonna step out with that left foot directly in line with where it is. So you're gonna pick up and you're gonna step naturally, touch with the heel, the ball of the foot and the toes, and bend your knee. So your whole foot is now connected. Then we're gonna push forward until our knee is over our ankle. So the goal is to have 60% of your weight in your front leg and 40% in the back. The thing to check in on is the hip direction. Remember, we were talking about our waist turning. So our hips are going to follow our back foot direction. If you turn your hips to square, your back knee is going to turn and twist in, causing the weight to fall on your arch and making your knee not too happy. So we really want to think about having our hips open. And then from here, if we did that upper body shape, we would think about using our waist, just like we did in the chair, to turn forward. So the difference being of keeping those hips fixed and turning from that upper body. Beautiful. So now, if we shift back, we turn our torso to match. This is going to pour all that weight into our back leg. Now lift the toes and then the heel. Can you pick up? If that was difficult, step a little bit smaller. And then move forward and turn. Now hold for one moment. Drop the arms. I want you to look down at your feet. If you turn on your right heel so that the foot direction matches, do you have two lines? So we're not here. We have two lines, so we have stability from side to side. Now I'm going to turn, stay where you are. When we're here, remember the length of your stance this way does not matter. What matters is now if everyone shifts back, can you pick up? We're getting that ability to change and then step back out, or that agility and balance here. Nice work. Okay, so one more time, shifting back, pick up, and step in. Yes, okay? So remember, if we're wobbling at all, we want to step a little bit smaller. Every day is going to feel different. Just a little note before we move to the other side, I might have broken my pinky toe on my son's wooden toy box. So now we're going to shift to the other side, and you're going to notice that my stance is going to be a lot smaller. Why? Because that's where my ability is today. So from that neutral or natural position, we're going to shift to the right this time, and we're going to turn and open the left toes. Take a look down. Make sure it's 45 degrees. This is important so when you sink down, that knee is perfectly in line, and then we pick up nice and slow and we step out. Don't reach, just step naturally, and then heel ball toe, bend the knee, move that weight forward. Check, knee over ankle. Hips are open, right? So we're not turned. Okay, we're open. And then check, if you turn your left foot on the heel to straight, you still have two lines and you're good to go. We only have two legs, so we can create stability front to back easily. Having this width creates it from left to right. So again, if we hold our arms up into that hug a tree position, matching our hip direction, where are we turning from? Middle, lower back. Not changing the legs, just turning the torso from side to side, finding that movement through our spine, letting that energy flow freely. Okay, so now shifting back, remember to turn. That's going to help pour that weight in. Pick up. If that was difficult, step a little bit smaller and then move forward and turn. Okay, knee over ankle. Yes. Okay, now shift back and pick up one more time. Okay, that's it. Okay, now we're going to talk about one more thing. All right, we're going to do this with a push. Okay, so relaxing for a moment. We're going to bring our hands to about our chest level. When we're here, we want to make sure that our wrist is higher than our elbow. Okay, so we don't want to start too low. We want to be starting here. Now, when we're here, not too close, relax everything a little bit. And then I'm going to turn so you can see one more thing. When we're here, the elbows should be pointing back. So we don't want to be like this. We want to relax and think about having our back rounded a little bit. Okay, so we're going to start at chest level and we're going to push to shoulder height. So that means that your wrist and your shoulders are going to be in line. One more thing to note, when we're doing our push, we're not going to be flat palmed. Relax them like you're still holding that ball, okay? So it's the difference of being like this and like square flat and relax. See the difference? Okay? That allows what? Shoulders and elbows sinking down, okay? So we're going to think we're starting low and we're going to push to shoulder height. So chest level and then shoulder height. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to combine that with our push, okay? So we're going to combine our upper and lower portions of our body. Now, why do we do this specifically as our first class of the new year? Because this is going to teach us how to bring that energy through our whole body. So it starts in our feet, it moves through our legs, it's flexible through our spine, right? And then out to those hands and fingers. So we all have pushed something heavy in our lives, and that's why this is a great exercise. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see a little bit more. We're going to start in that shoulders width apart stance. We're going to shift to our right and turn and open up our left toes 45 degrees. Sinking down, remember knees in line so we don't go too far. We'll build up that strength gradually. We step out and touch. Now I want you to pay attention here. If you're touching and your knee is locked, there's no weight, there's no connection to that front foot, okay? We want to think it's like you're touching like a cat kind of walks on something and they kind of like test it out and then they move forward. That's what we're going for. So you want to say, okay, ground is solid, I've connected, and then we're going to move that weight forward. So now, as we move forward and back, I don't want you to just think, oh, I'm just moving, okay? We're just moving, right? We're still doing a bow stance, right? The requirements are still there, but I want you to move with meaning, okay? I want you to move with strength and power through the legs, building a strong foundation, building up your balance, okay? Your coordination. From here, I want you to think level, so we're not going up and down. We're going to push forward. And we have to stop ourselves from the front as if we were pushing something heavy. So we push back and we push forward. So we move back and forth. Now, how does this work with the arms? We're going to bring our palms in front of our chest. And this is going to help because now we can think, okay, what does it feel like if you're pushing something heavy? There's resistance, right? We're creating that. From here, push. Okay, come back. Release the arms and come back. Now think legs, waist, arms, all the way out to the palms and back. So one thing to note, really think about slowing down the leg. Our leg is only moving a few inches. The arms move really far. So from here, don't just do the arms and then the legs. Don't do the legs and then the arms. Try to have everything coordinate. So pushing something heavy, moving it until you stop. Okay, so Coming back, we're all going to move together. And ready, set, stop. Where are you? Where's your coordination? So if you're halfway like me, right? If you're all the way, you're all the way and finish the movement. This is the magic of Tai Chi. This is the coordination that makes Tai Chi look so beautiful. So feeling that flow. Find that light and airy feeling through the arms. Feel yourself really using your legs. So if the legs are in line, as you're moving forward and back right now, you should be building up some tension, okay? You should feel those leg muscles starting to really work. All right, let's do a couple more on this side. Then we're going to do the other one. So last one, push. Okay, hold for 1 second. Check. Wrists in line. Okay, are the elbows and shoulders sinking down? Here's one more thing I didn't touch on yet. We're actually leaning forward. And why? What happens if we're here? Our tailbone is getting pinched, okay? We want to relax that down, lean into it. Our goal is to have one line from your heel through your leg to the top of your head. Okay, release. Shake it out. We're going to do the other side, okay? Evening out our bodies. So being aware, we're warming up those legs up a little bit. We might be building some heat in our body, okay? So starting same direction, all right? So starting where? Feet in prepare, natural, perfectly straight, okay? This time shifting to the left, and then turn that right foot 45 degrees, okay? From here, sink and step out naturally. Remember, don't reach. Okay, so from here, remember, we're not just gonna move, right? We're gonna be moving, but we're gonna do what? We're gonna move with intention, okay? So we're gonna push forward and back. And we're gonna check in on what? Our hip direction. If we're turning our hips to straight, our knees getting pinched. So keep both knees in line, moving level back and forth. Pushing forward and then pushing back, okay? Now, if we include the arms, remember we start about chest height, and then we're gonna do what? Push to shoulder height. Now checking, do we have that line through our bodies? Don't kink out that waist, relax down, lifting up, and what? Shoulders and elbows sinking down, and then float back. Starting in the back position, make sure we're here, and then slowly move forward. Okay, so we're just coordinating the breath and the body maybe. So we can inhale and come back, exhale and push. Now, when we're doing single movement practice, we can coordinate our breath with the movement. If we're doing a form, some moves are going to be longer than others, so our only goal is to breathe smooth, even, and continuously. So a couple more rounds, feel the expansion through the legs, out from the spine, through to the hands and fingers. And check your timing. So if we all stop, where are you? Are your arms fully extended, but your knee's not there? Is your knee there, but your arms aren't? Try to slow down the legs so that everything arrives together. So we have this beautiful flow from the legs, through the waist, out, the hands and fingers. Let's do a couple more. Feel those legs really pushing and supporting from the front. One more. And release. Okay, shake out the legs. Okay, remember, this is building a lot of strength in your body. So remember, we're never gonna push ourselves. We want it to be natural. So we're gonna close class by doing that first exercise of like water's waves. So my goal is to get you to have an at-home practice. Remember, a little bit goes a long way. So a couple of minutes of swinging every day is really going to help keep your spine alive and feel that energy flowing. So I want to encourage you to do this. Great thing to do first in the morning or last thing before you go to bed. Not too much before bed. We really want to settle down more, but good for throughout the day. All right, so easing off from here, we're going to go into that like waters wave. So that very first one, okay? Shoulders width apart. Remember, I want you to check in with yourself throughout the day so that we have as great of alignment as possible so that every day we're healing our bodies to feel our best. So feet, shoulders width apart, knees in line, lower backs relaxed, shoulders are hanging down as we lift through the crown of our head. Now, just a couple of times, inhale and float those arms up. Exhale and press down. Now, with the legs floating up and sinking down. So feel that rise and fall, relaxing and settling down. So gently float up and then feel nice and heavy as you settle down. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Remember, we're going to finish as normal, and then we're going to bring those hands to the side as we stand up and return to that neutral position. All right, we can bring those feet together, closing class just as we started with that salute, fist with the right hand, palm with the left. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was such a pleasure having you here.